All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over trying to teach people some Java by using an iterative payroll program and another program or two also. As far as learning Java, sort of in accordance with our textbook, which is starting out with Java from control structures through objects, 6th edition. We're up to Chapter 11, exceptions and advanced file I/O. I'm not going to do anything with files, but I am trying to write some user-defined exceptions in here. All right. I'm going to not even have a driver here. Yeah, I will have a driver. I'm going to have a payroll class, and I'm going to have a driver, and then I'm going to have 4 user-defined exceptions. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to declare the instance variables. Now I'm going to make this simple because I just don't want to write code upon code upon code where I'm doing a lot of duplicative stuff. So I'm going to have private string. I'm just going to have name. I'm not going to have first name and last name. Let's have an employee number, just so we can use an int for something different. Okay, you've seen this before or a very similar derivation of it. So the next thing I'm going to do, put my little squigglies in here. Let's get a few of these. That's good enough for now. And let's see. Let's say that we're going to just pass in the name, and we're going to pass in the employee number. All right? And we're going to let the system know that this can possibly this will throws an invalid name exception. Now I'm going to probably get an error here because that doesn't exist, but I will write my own invalid name exception a little later. And an invalid ID exception. All right. So that's going to be my possible exceptions for right here. And if this doesn't make sense, as always, please just kind of bear with me if you would, and hopefully within a matter of minutes it will make sense. Now, just so I can get rid of that red, which is what I want to do right now, all right, so the way I'm going to get rid of that red is I'm going to write those 2 exceptions right now, which is going to be my invalid name exception and my invalid ID exception. So I'm going to write those. They will be new classes. So I'm going to right mouse click on here, new, Java class. And the first one will be called invalid name exception. Exception. Okay. Now, anytime I do this and I create these kinds of classes, they must extend, and you know what that means now, the exceptions class. Okay? This will be an error when it'll say no name was entered, basically. All right. Now what you'll notice, if I go back to payroll, that one's no longer red. Okay. So I'm going to create another one here that's going to be called invalid ID exception. We just paste that in. It's gonna have problems, but I'll fix them. Again, the wonders of copy and paste. There we go. So that'll fix that one. And this will say, all right, so I've now written my own exceptions, 2 of them. I'm going to write some more, but let's see. Now, notice, no longer bad, so to speak. So let's go down. Let's write now our constructor. Well, we're already going to have a name in there, and if the name's blank, it's already going to be handled. We already have this integer, and in fact, in here, I want to do a refactor rename on here. And instead of invalid ID exception, I want to write change that from invalid to How about empty ID? And I want it to change everything, so that should change all of them for me. Okay. Didn't change these though. Wow, I don't know what it changed. Oh, there it is, empty. And instead of invalid name exception, I want to do a refactor on that, rename, and I want to call that empty name exception. I'm telling it to refactor everything. Okay. And then I want to grab this empty ID exception, and I'm going to grab all of it and copy it to the clipboard. Now I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to do a new Java class, and I'm going to say non-numeric. How about numeric error ID exception? All right. And I'm going to paste this in. Now I got to change this back to numeric, non-numeric ID exception. So what I'm trying to account for here I'm sorry, it's numeric error. IDE exception, sorry. I'm trying to account for places where I can have some kind of an error. And what I'm saying is, in this case, if I have this kind of an error, then what I'm saying is I put something non-numeric in. If I have this kind of error, it's saying I didn't enter anything in there at all. If I have this error for my name, I didn't enter anything in there at all. So I want to add another exception here. So I've got empty name exception, empty ID exception, and I also have numeric error ID exception. All right. All right, I'm already 13 minutes in and I have hardly written any code, so let me see if I can fix this or start writing this now. For the payroll, set name, well, what do we have here? Name, employee number, hours worked, hourly rate. Let's set up our getters and setters for those. So, code, generate, getters, name, employee number, hours worked, hourly rate. That's all of those. Again, let me pretty it just very quickly. So these are my getters. So this is my get name getter. Just copy this 4 times, 3 times, I guess. This is my get imp number getter. This is my get hours worked getter. And finally, this is my, oops, I don't want that. This is my get hourly rate getter. All right, I might as well just quickly fix these up the way that I always do before I do my setters. All right, so all my getters are now done. I'm going to grab this. Okay, and that'll be my setter. So let's do those 4 setters quick. Code, generate, setters, highlight all 4, boom. All right. All right. So we have our get name setter, our get emp number setter, and then these aren't get, these are sets. Boy, I wonder if I've got those wrong on all the ones I've been doing thus far. Our set hours worked setter, and our set hourly rate setter. Okay, those are good. Our getters are already finished. All right, so how do we want to change this? Well, we're going to be passing in here a name. We'll just call it N. All right. If the N that we pass in is null, meaning there's literally just nothing there, or N equal the empty set, and that's not what I want to do. I actually want to say dot equals the empty string, or n dot length equal 0. That should be basically everything I can think of that could screw this up. If that happens, then I want to throw a new invalid name exception. Didn't I call it invalid name? No, I called it empty name. Remember, I changed that. And it's giving me that error, but that's going to be fixed momentarily. Otherwise, I know that it was valid. I'm going to have to fix that, but I'm going to have to fix it in my driver. So that'll handle that. Now this throw is not working because I'm going to have to right mouse click in here, and I'm going to have to do a new Java class that's going to be called payroll driver, and in there I'm going to have to handle the error that I currently have. So don't let this error throw you. I can guarantee you very soon it's going to be fixed. All right. Now, I'm going to just check out a couple things here. Let's see, such as range of Java int. So an int goes from here to here. Let's see. I don't know if we can say this. When we created the integer, when we created that in here, I want to see, can I say unsigned? It doesn't like that. Well, then I'll tell you what. I'm going to make sure that if you put in a negative number, I make it positive. How's that? Technically, I guess now you'll be able to put a minus sign in for the employee number, which is really dumb, but that's okay. Is there a constant in Java Java constant for max int? Integer.max value, integer.min value. I think this is going to work, but we'll find out. So what I want to say here is okay, so if emp number is less than integer dot min value, or emp number is greater than integer dot max value. So if I put in anything that's either too little or that's too big, I want to throw a numeric error ID exception. I don't think Java has a is numeric, but I want to check. Yeah, I don't want to do this. I don't want to get into exception. Okay, I'm going to leave this the way that it is. And I'm at 26 minutes. So what I'm going to do, throw numeric error ID exception. I'm getting the same error. It says method call expected. Okay, an unhandled exception. Throw new. Now I should get the same error I had before. Good, unhandled exception. That's fine. All right. Let's stop right here. We'll come back and make some changes, and ideally in about one more, maybe two more videos, we'll finish this one up.